Hello everyone, Frosty here. I'm back after like a longer while. So, you probably know Sonic.EXE as a creepypasta, as a character, mostly for Friday Night Funkin' mods probably. But in my times it was something scary, cool and mysterious. I actually thought that Sonic.EXE was well written creepypasta or something, but now I realize it wasn't. And in this video I'm gonna see how accurate Sonic.EXE game made by MY5T Crimson is accurate to its creepypasta. Before you say anything, creepypasta was made before the game and then the game was made. It's not opposite. I swear to God, if someone says it's opposite, I'm gonna lose it. In the end I will give you my points about how good it is and how accurate it is. So let's start with this deep feeling of pain by reading it. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. That is true, actually. I was like, awesome, because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed was out of place was when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turned into something much different, something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like. In that split second before the game cut to black, the sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666. Ooh, how scary! And the water had turned red like blood. Wow. But the freakiest thing that was in that split second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with two glowing red dots staring right at me. And his smile had stretched wider to the edge of his face. Wow, that is actually true. He wasn't lying. The game was first for real. And I'm joshing. Of course the creepypasta was first, so people wouldn't get it wrong with it. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. Okay, I don't think you forgot about it if you are just fucking saying that. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds with a clock in hand. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, what the f? What's this thing doing in the first Sonic game? Do you think that's the first Sonic game? I mean, it was made in 666, so it's pretty possible. Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was dark, cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD. This is correct. So, it has like 2 points of accuracy. The game, of course, because creepypasta shouldn't have like any point. I don't give a fuck. And there was only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Cavern of Winter music from Earthbound. Of course, he had to borrow something from a different game. Like, I mean, it's from the Earthbound was made by Nintendo. Am I right now? Yeah, I think. I don't know. Prove me wrong. I think I might be wrong. Yeah. So, game gets that accurately. 2 points, 3 points. Yeah. Only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image from the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just a red static for all 3 files. That's also correct, 4 points now. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in classic Sonic game? For crying out loud. Bro, that's no good. That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game, it was a hacked game. Yeah, it is a hack. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least try not to be. I told myself that I that it was just a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that anyways. Shaking off my creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and choose Tails. And when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds with a clock in hand, and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot of like Kefka guy from Final Fantasy. Oh my gosh! Before cutting to black. Yep, that's also correct. Okay, let's keep going. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds with like timer in hand now. Or more than it showed the typical level titles thingy. Except the simplistic shapes were different shaded over red and the text showed only Hill Act 1, accurate 6 points now. The screen faded in and the level vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though it sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. 7 points, I guess. Anyways, I started playing and had Tails start running like he would in any classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes with timer in hand. That was when the peaceful music started to load down into slow deep tones very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something that I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. I don't give a fuck. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. Moving along, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals. As Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried. I mean, the animals thing is like correct, so I'm gonna. As the music lowers and he moves past the more dead animals, true. I'm not gonna give it more points because it's repeating. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. As Squirtle was hanged on a tree, that's true. Okay, to this point, I'm gonna give it like half if it continues to like fucking keep out about dead animals. With what appears to be entrails hanging out, a bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off and a duck had his eyes gouged out of his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds there were no more animals and the music seemed to have stopped. Correct. After a minute passed, after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails. With his eyes closed, Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile flattered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move, so this had to have been a cutscene. Yep. Now we got this. Suddenly I began to have growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. Who gives a shit about what is gonna happen to Tails? He's a fucking game character, man. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was... As Tails was what? That forbidding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic, and as the static grew louder. That's 9 points, let's go Sonic. Congratulations. Yep. Suddenly in a split second I saw Sonic.EXE open and there were black with those red glowing dots 9 points, no, 10. I need to keep track of points here. Just like that, title image through. There wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. Yep. It stayed black for about 7 seconds and then white text appeared forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" I'm gonna make a Sonic sound, voice like that. My throat kinda hurts, so yeah. At this point I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying hide and seek. Okay, that is accurate. Points. This time I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3 and it looked like everything was on fire. Okay, I'm gonna move this point count to there. Hold on. Yeah, 11. I'm not giving you more. I'm not gonna give you my fucking points. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits. This time, he actually looked at me and made frantic gesture to me as if he wanted to get out of the area. He was in a fast. There is too many small things. I need to zoom my fucking screen because I'm gonna go insane. As fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, that's cool. Trying to tell me to get him out of there. That's right, Tails showed you fingers. Fucker. And now, let's continue. So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from Sonic Adventure 2 was playing as made. What? I think, yeah, let's give it. Oh yeah, I remember that. Was playing as I made Tails stick through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again, Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds, with a timer passed, I helped Tails run through the forest and then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful, drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. The flying pose his sprite was making looked. What the fuck? The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic flying pose in Sonic CD. Let's see. I think he wasn't like having his hand out while flying. Yeah, he was just having both hands up. Except it was just Sonic and he had the black and red eyes again on me. This time he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving to poor little Fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly when Tails tripped another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails lay there and started crying for like 15 seconds with timer. The screen was rather upsetting to watch and I kind of teared up myself. It's just a fucking game, bro. But the Sonic appeared right in front of Tails and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at. Is that 3? Oh no, that's 2. At the horrified Fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second Sonic laughed at Tails. Right before the screen went black, there was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned only this time it said, "You're too slow, want to try again?" This hurts, honestly. And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was brought back to the character select The save file that had Tails was different. Tail was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles' neck. The laugh came again and the screen cut to black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run." Okay, let's keep going. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of Scrub Brain Zone, which is true, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark reddish colored cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Gia's theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. That's true. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid just like Tails did. Though not as much, more rather he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. I don't think the Knuckles was looking like at the fourth wall, so you know. We have 2 more pages to go, but I don't wanna, it's like 11 PM. And I'm recording at night again, so yeah. He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level. And as he did, the screen started to flicker red static and couple times, and then that mattering laugh came again. Then after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible is going to happen to Knuckles. Actually, this phrase is true. He looked nauseous. I don't think I said that right. Walking down this bloodstained road, but I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him, with those black eyes and black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again. When the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with text saying, "I'm not gonna do the deep voice so you know," he says that, "Found you." I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Oh my god, I hate him. Anyway, red static came again and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking and Sonic was nowhere to be found, and this time that high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hills 1 final boss was playing. Oh my gosh. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to god it wasn't, honestly. Suddenly Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles, in what appeared to be a pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and then I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished again laughing. This isn't accurate, like Sonic didn't laugh when he punched him. As you saw on my gameplay, I didn't edit anything. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Wow, how funny. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then in a split second Sonic laughed at Knuckles, and then screen went black with another disordered screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. With timer in hand, another text message appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree? I was brought back to the main menu at this time. The second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish grey. His dreadlocks were dripping with blood and his eyes were black and bleeding too. And he had a look of sadness on his face. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik. But anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. Let's keep going. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games. Though it was pixelated style, the floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were dark and greyish purple with animating candle lights and a few dark bloodstains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above on top of part of the screen. I don't think it's accurate. I don't remember. Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't saw any curtain. Every 12 seconds or so that red curtain saw very slowly, but whenever you were playing the game you can barely see it move. Maybe that's why. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song, but I knew better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it was in reverse. If it was in reverse, and that song was in reverse, would it play? Yeah, makes sense. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, and if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turned his head to the left and then to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on, even though I was scared out of my mind. Haven't you said something like, "I'm a smart player and I'm not even scared"? Yeah, I think he said that. About what was going to happen, I had Robotnik continue onwards. He did his usual running animation, you know, I don't care, as we continued going through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downwards. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one. And then we headed down another flight of stairs down. This one was much longer. It took at least 1 full minute. With a timer in the hand. And then I hear the horrid Kefka laugh again. Accurate 23 points. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red and the torches were a black flame now. So they weren't like on fire, I think. When Robotnik landed onto the third hallway, I noticed he now looked really creeped out. Tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly Sonic popped out right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did with Knuckles, and then the red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me a most unpleasant image. The image showed an image of Sonic standing in darkness, where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. He looked so real you could actually see the lines in his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. What? His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I ever seen. I've seen worse. And that's saying something considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are white and black, and once against crying blood, and there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the side of his face like a Cheshire cat, except Sonic had fangs, very sharp. For real. We're on page 5. I think that's the last one. Yep, that's the last page. Fangs much like the werewolf's teeth, except more vicious looking. Somewhat yellowish, and for the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bit of flesh on his lips and fangs, as if he ate some animal. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and one of the third time I heard the Kafka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even. 23.4 points, my bad. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up, but it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God. 25, it actually say that, guys. In the game, of course, not in real life. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then, this Sonic was a monster, a pure evil. No. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open. Was it in the game? No. Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? For me it was juicy, you know? Because I'm so juicy. The Kafka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu. This time the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull grey, his mustache dropped and had blackened, his glasses broke and blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles and Robotnik, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. It's just a game. They were trapped. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be. I'm giving points to the Robotnik because I think it actually was in game. 25 points. And there we go. We read it all. So, how would I rate the pasta? It is honestly, it's hard to read. I don't know if it's about me or the pasta now, but for me it just sucks. The main character is so stupid. Like, in the beginning, if your friend told you, like, couldn't he break the disc himself or something, or could you just throw this shit out? I don't know, man. But accuracy is like 25 points. I will give it, yeah. Game is accurate, like, to the Creepypasta, pretty much. As I read that and I played the game, it was pretty accurate, so I'm not gonna lie. Good job, MY5T Crimson. I think I said that right. But yeah, Creepypasta is at. Game's quality is also at. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, at least some work went to it, unlike this Creepypasta, or shall I say crappy pasta. And there you have it, my opinion, my comparing to the accuracy, to the Creepypasta. You have it all. You have my opinion on the game, you have my opinion on the Creepypasta, and yeah, I guess I'll be going out for maybe another month or a year. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good night. You can check out some other of my videos, and I'm heading out. Bye.